There are lots of different names for the same condiment. Special sauce, secret sauce, fancy sauce, fry sauce, shack sauce, salsa golf, Mari Rose, cocktail sosa, Aurora sauce, kitchenaise, Thousand Island. Here in Britain you've probably eaten this flavour profile without even thinking of it as a sauce. Prawn cocktail crisps, that's the same tangy, slightly sweet thing, no shellfish involved. And all these sauces, from Big Mac sauce to Walker's prawn cocktail, share the same two building blocks: ketchup and mayonnaise. Which is a slightly absurd thing when you think about it, because neither of those ingredients is particularly special. They're not ancient to one particular country, nor local to each other. In fact, both did a lot of travelling to end up on your French fries. Ketchup starts in Southeast Asia. The word comes from the Hikkonian Chinese kiet siap, a fermented fish sauce. British traders encountered it in the early 17th century, brought it home, and started trying to recreate it. Early English ketchup recipes used mushrooms, walnuts, oysters, and anchovies, basically anything pungent that could be reduced into paste. Tomatoes didn't show up until 1812. What we now think of as the most definitively tomato condiment in the world was originally not tomato-based at all. Mayonnaise has its own confusing passport. Most likely it originated on the island of Minorca. Mayonnaise probably coming from the port city Mahon during the 7 Years' War in the 1750s. A French chef, the theory goes, made a sauce with the local olive oil and it stuck. Though there is also older Spanish recipes for similar emulsified sauces going back centuries. The point is, it's Mediterranean, it's old, and it definitely didn't start as a sandwich spread. Those two condiments, one from Southeast Asian fish sauce via China, one from a Spanish island via France, eventually meet in America, became the backbone of a billion-dollar fast food industry, and spawned an almost comical number of regional variations. In Argentina, it's salsa golf, reportedly invented in 1925 by a teenage future Nobel laureate at a golf club who was tired of plain mayo. In Germany, it comes in a toothpaste tube, ketchup and mayo side by side in red and white stripes, which you squeeze out in a single stripe. They call it Rot-Weiss, red-white. In Japan, it's Aurora sauce. In Russia, kitchenaise. In Puerto Rico, mayo ketchup, always made with garlic. McDonald's special sauce, you know, the one from the jingle, 2 all-beef patties special sauce, was created in Pittsburgh in 1968 by a franchise owner named Jim Delagatti. It's technically closer to Thousand Island dressing than pure ketchup mayo, and at one point in the early days, McDonald's was running 2 different versions simultaneously in different locations. At some point, they actually lost the formula, and the sauce quietly got worse through the late 80s and 90s. A former CEO finally noticed in 2004 and had it reconstituted. That's the one you're eating now. But here's the thing, the reason this combination shows up independently in Utah and Argentina and Germany and Japan, the reason it keeps being reinvented, is that it works on a very fundamental level. Mayonnaise is rich, creamy, emulsified fat. Ketchup is acid and sweetness. When you combine them, the acid cuts the richness of the mayo and the fat smooths out the sharpness of the ketchup. You end up with something that is neither as heavy nor as sharp as either component, coating the food without overwhelming it. That's why it works on fries, on burgers, on prawns, on crisps. And because the base is so stable and so neutral, it absorbs additions beautifully. A little Worcestershire sauce adds depth and fermented umami. Mustard sharpens it. Relish or gherkins brings texture and another layer of acid. Cayenne or hot sauce gives it heat. Paprika adds colour and a gentle smokiness. Black pepper adds bite without heat. And garlic obviously adds garlic. Special sauce then becomes an incredible window into the world of food science. The 4 flavour levers are salt, heat, fat and acid. Special sauce already has the fat and acid sorted, so every addition you make is just deciding where on those axes you want to move. Do you want more acid? Add pickle juice. More fat? More mayo, or swap to a richer oil. More salt? Worcestershire, or just salt. More heat? Cayenne. You could even swap the ketchup entirely, use barbecue sauce if you want the smoke, or use sriracha if you want heat and sweetness. You could even swap the mayo for a vegan alternative and get almost the same result. You could make your ketchup with mushrooms instead of tomatoes. You could use Japanese Kewpie mayo made with rice vinegar and only egg yolks, and get something noticeably richer and more savoury. So here's what I suggest. Make the base roughly 2 parts mayo to 1 part ketchup. Taste it, then ask yourself what it needs. More brightness, say squeeze a lemon or a dash of vinegar. More complexity, a few drops of Worcester. Something to cut through a fatty burger, more mustard. A little heat, a touch of Tabasco. Season it, then refrigerate it for at least an hour so the flavours actually meld and smooth out. And then it's yours. Not McDonald's, not Heinz's, not a Nobel laureate at a golf club in Argentina. Yours. Talk about a special sauce, eh?